Hello, fellow travelers. I'm Veronica from Human Design Journey, and today we're going to look at the transit field. The sun just entered the gate of the now, contemplation. Here it is. And this is a gate which has, it's about expressing the intuition. And at the same time, it has nothing to do with actually awareness, although it finishes at the end at the 20th gate is part of the channel of 1020, the channel of awakening. So the channel of charisma, where thoughts must become deeds, where the sacral center is connected through the 34th gate, the gate of power, to the 20th gate, the gate of the now in the throat, the classic manifesting generator we have, where we have directly the energy of the sacral center, the life energy, the life force energy to the throat, the place of manifestation, expression, and actually action. So here we have this busy energy, busy about yourself, busy with your own stuff, but without particular awareness or particular purpose. So it can be quite chaotic, actually. And without response for generators or invitation or whatever your strategy is for projectors, and informing all the way for the manifester, waiting out the lunar cycle for the reflector, you see, you can be actually quite put into action by this energy and going forward things which are probably in some acoustic harmony with some part of you, but tending to be deaf to input from outside sources. Basically, this is part of the integration. And we have also, again, the gate of deafness in the notes, in the south node. Still in the gate of inside the one-track mind, and splitting apart the gate of assimilation, where fatalism and egoism and atheism and paranoia are our perspective, and the energy to act upon this pressure and this potential for breakthrough and for expression at the end of your own inner knowing. So there is a lot of thinking going on, a lot of action and talking, which can make a big mess if you're not basically correct and do things out of your inner knowing and out of your balance within yourself and authenticity. Because without clear response mechanism, you can easily wind up frustrated in your personal sense of achievement and utterly exhausted if you are not normally with the defined sacral center, which means you're a manifestor or you're a reflector or a projector. So unless you want to end up trapped in being a workhorse for somebody else's gain, don't do or say anything unless you're really responding or taking your time with your emotional clarity, being attuned to whether this is the right invitation, informing all the way, and waiting out your lunar month to gain clarity. Basically, you can end up otherwise playing out actions and manifesting expression which is might or might not be yours. It's also a possibility, of course, that you will see in the next 5 days quite some action around you as well. But let's look at the gates of the 20th gate, because the next 5.5 days we're going to go through these nuances of the energy for recognition and awareness in the now, which transforms understanding into right action if you are connected to your inner knowing, to your authority. So in the first line today, we have superficiality. It will be very interesting to watch the news. It's a reliance on shallowness, the rising of superficiality to an art form, the sloganeer, superficial expression as an art form. So if it's correct, it will sound like it is expression of superficial personality, which is the superficial expression which can be okay. Or if it's not correct, it will sound super puffed up, blah, blah. Then tomorrow we will enter the second line, the dogmatist, restrictive and intentionally limited understanding. The limitation, if personal and exclusive, is less negative through ascetic withdrawal, a restrictive awareness of the now, or the power to lead others down a narrow path. The gift expression through expression of leading others down a narrow and restrictive path. With limitation in the contemplation, being dogmatist, but it can be a gift to actually restrictively lead others down an expression path. That will be interesting tomorrow to watch. In the third line, we will have self-awareness, understanding derived from analysis of personal actions and effects, the proper attunement and development of the personality through self-consciousness, the expression of self-consciousness and awareness in the now, self-consciousness in the extreme that hampers development. The expression of self-consciousness in the extreme is the other side. Then we have in the fourth line application, which is the recognition and awareness that can only be transformed into action in cooperation with those who have the ability to act upon the understanding. This is the teacher who teaches his students to transcend him, where expression of awareness can only be turned into action through others, or the other way, detriment, a tendency to prefer theory to application, and the expression of the awareness as theory with little interest in the application. Then we have in the fifth line, realism, contemplation in and out and of itself is no guarantee of success. where concentration on detail results in a perfected form. Or the other side, where reality creates dissatisfaction and adds to instability. In the sixth line, we have wisdom, contemplation, which results in the ability to apply understanding, or the ability to transform individual awareness for general application and understanding. The ability to transform general application for the mental challenge instead of being altruistic. So that's the wisdom at the end of this process of contemplation and being in the now. So the following days, there is also a possibility for a link in the spleen center. If you have gate 57 with the channel of the brainwave, which is basically the voice of intuition, and it has the most extraordinary capacities a human can have. It's just pure intuition that can speak. So it's an energy which says, I have the feeling now, but it doesn't have the energy to do it, only can say it, basically, because the spleen is not a motor. But having the action, you can think, okay, let me get rid of those things right now, and then be sorry for this, because it might be something which is healthy, for instance. Or you might have the 10th gate creating the channel of awakening, linking the self center through the 10, the gate of personal behavior patterns, to the 20, the gate of the now in the throat. Well, this channel is empowerment of the self-awakening. It's about caring that you're awake and not that the others are necessarily awake. It's basically a vocally projected channel which expresses I am myself in now. And typically, it can be a constantly awakening process each moment, or not, or actually being totally out of space and asleep. So you might think that you have to act in a certain way right now, if you have especially the 10th gate, looking for the right action in the now, trying to express your inner knowing, being deaf to what the others say, and not being really awakened. Or if you're correct, you can actually get to epiphanies. Who knows? It's the weather, the transits, they are actually the planets moving with their own energy on top of your energy. Like if we would want to look the transits on top of your chart, your body graph, it will give us the specific picture of what you receive as neutrino ray. But this is the common picture for the whole world. This will affect the whole world. So as you see, we have grounding in the 34th gate, the power of the great. In the first line, the bully. So today, the indiscriminate use of power will be something we will be seeing here and there in the now. And the less negative, the resort to power as a manifestation of frustration, the energy to display power as a response to frustration. Look around you and look at this energy people are expressing. 70% of the people in the world are generators. And if they are not in the right job, in the right place with the right people, in the right relationship, in the correct, healthy ones, and most of the people are not, well, there'll be a lot of frustration around us. And today there will be the voice to voice this frustration in the 20th gate. So, and there will be a lot of energy for bullying and the present risk of retaliation to power displays. Interesting what power displays there will be today shown, and actually in the next few days. We saw it also on the 16th of May. We had for some time the moon there. So we had again 2034, but today we'll have, and for the next 5 days, this energy in the air. As well as we continue to have the nodes in 2343, the channel of structuring, where genius to freak energy is available. So we will keep on seeing bizarre stuff. And actually, with the gate of splitting apart, this is a gate which helps that we accept the different and accept the bizarre and the strange and the freakish, if it is in the right timing, if it is at the right place, at the right moment. So having a defined throat in the air will make a lot of people talk and talk and talk their inner knowing and want to act upon their knowing, and being deaf to the other. But the point is whether you are really following your strategy, taking decisions with your inner authority, so that you know that those actions and those words are really coming from your authentic self and not just speaking out of your openness. Because today, this manifesting generator day doesn't know what to think about the energy, what it is, what to will, what to promise, and not knowing what to feel, not knowing what should be done now, but stressing about things and being in a hurry, not knowing what to give up and which is unhealthy, and what to stick to, which is healthy, not knowing what to be afraid of. So it is very important that we don't live the neutrino rain, don't live what the program gives us unconditionally, but do reflect it from our own individuality and let this energy of the transit pass through us, this neutrino information we're getting from the sun and the planets, getting the wisdom of it. And it can be quite educational in our open places, in our open channels, gates, and centers, in our openness, where we're here to go to school to and learn, become wise about. So we are here to receive the program, to receive this energy and get information from it without letting it destabilize us and act and be as programmed bunnies, you know, on batteries with the specific energy that this, because this 3420 is actually giving us batteries, you know, those the commercial for the Duracell batteries with the bunny and turtle. So basically we get the program sticks in us, those batteries, and we think we have all this energy to act and to do in the now, immediately, upon our inner knowing, being deaf, not being really aware. This is a mechanical function. It's, we have expression of intuition in the 57th gate, but it's mechanical. It's an inner knowing, which, if you're correct, can be to your benefit. Or you can walk around not knowing what to think, like fly without a head, and do a lot of stuff which is not correct. Then we have our driving force, and what our focus of the mind will be in the for a few hours in the gate of pessimism, the fellowship of men, the gate of the listener. So we might hear indeed some stuff today that can be pessimistic, and that the belief that what is best can never be achieved. A lack of trust that can only be transformed through concrete evidence. Openness that is conditioned by suspicion and seeks evidence. Pessimism exalted to an art form. So we have two art forms, shallowness and pessimism. And what we want to communicate again is in the gate of contemplation, and in the first line, superficiality. So this is what we're gonna shine with. This is what we want to communicate today, giving those messages superficially, relying on shallowness, and those slogans that we're gonna hear, wanting to communicate them as well in Mercury. Then the values will be in in Venus, are in gate 42, the gate of growth, second line identification, in detriment and aesthetically motivated withdrawal in times of progressive change, growth which stops in reaction to trends or change. And oh boy, we do have change, and at the same time we have limitations. In the 36th gate, Pluto behind the veil, the point at which decline has exhausted its power, transition, the ability to establish a new order out of the ashes of the old. And this is happening behind the veil, friends. The emotional depth to endure crisis and embrace change, the tendency in renewal to try to assimilate the remains of the old order into the new with the risk that it may rise again, the new order once it has regained its strengths, the embrace of the change, but with feelings that will not let go of the past. And at the same time, we have Uranus in the gate of the receptive, the direction of the self, line 3, patience, the teacher that never stops being a student. For the revolutionary, patience is a vice, higher knowing that cannot wait and demands expression. Now, in the moment, I want to give my expression my inner knowing. I want to act upon it. And we had again the teacher twice. Once the teacher who doesn't want to, who either lets its student become better or doesn't want to acknowledge its student. And at the same time, we have also the gate of fates in Saturn, which is where we're limited and disciplined. So the fates will decide our destiny and put balance in the face of disorder or not. Composure, maximization of limitation in all cases, stability through feelings, no matter what the situation. The ability to maintain composure, but at the expense of progress. Balance through feelings, but unable to let go of them. So this is where we're going to be restricted, and especially if we're not authentic, innocent, which is where our law and protection is in the gate of the spirit of the self, fourth line, survival. So being very narrow in the nature of true innocence that can be maintained regardless of the circumstances. The beauty of the rose in the garbage dump. The highest principles, even amongst the greatest decadence, the spiritual warrior, the innocence maintained regardless the circumstances. And being able to shine in your shallowness and in the slogans today, being a sloganeer. And also the yeah. So Venus and yeah, we have Mars, the explosive energy that needs to mature, is also in the darkening of the line of the light, the gate of crisis, in the line of justice, the inevitable survival of right, the knowledge and attendant faith that the powers of darkness eventually destroy themselves. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make mad. The correctness of crisis when it arises out of pure feelings. It can bring us a lot of goodies if we contain this energy, because there is also a profound sorrow and cynicism that is not diminished by the understanding that darkness is self-annihilating. The sorrow or cynicism that comes with seeing that despite the correctness of the feelings, there is always crisis. Friends, there is crisis in the air, and this is the Martian energy, which is quite explosive today. Behind the veil, also happening something connected to crisis. We have limitation as the truth which is going on. Things that have to be finished. To get a growth in the line of identification. So it can be withdrawal, the best option in the time of progressive change. And so communicating the shallowness, which is also in the air, where it shines, being grounded and balanced in the bully and the indiscriminate use of power. It's a very interesting day, which can bring questions towards the use of power and whether you can, at the end, do save the rose on the garbage fields. Even in the greatest darkness, things can still smell well if we keep it authentic. Fellow travelers on planet Earth, when you are yourselves, you align to your own trajectory and your magnetic monopole attracts the right bunch of people on your fractal, the right place, and the right timing. Follow your strategy and authority. There is no pill which will cure you or give you an eternal balance except your own inner pill. Friends, it's at the end to awaken the inner observer and to just watch the movie, no matter what the movie is. It can be tough, it can be jolly, it can be juicy or super dry. If we are here as ourselves, we will get exactly what we need to get to our life purpose and let our cross carry us across. This is Veronica from Human Design Journey. See you soon. Bye.